Tata Group, a name that stands not just in India, but across the world as a symbol of trust, values, and innovation. But have you ever wondered, how did this foundation of success begin? How did the dream of an ordinary man turn into a saga that became an inspiration for generations to come? This story isn't just about business, it's about passion, struggle, and a family that turned their name into an idea. Tata. From Navsari to Mumbai, a new beginning. The year was 1822. In Navsari, Gujarat, a child was born, Jamsetji Tata. An astrologer made a prophecy. This child will one day make a name across the world. Maybe those were just words, but Jamsetji made them his destiny. Married young and a father by 17. This wasn't unusual then, but he was different. While most people in Navsari didn't even dream of leaving their village, Jamsetji made a bold decision. He would go to Mumbai and do something big. No money, no experience, but one dream. And with that dream, he moved to Mumbai with his family and started a cotton business with help from a friend. Jamsetji Tata, heir of dreams. Jamsetji's dream was that his son, Jamsetji Tata, would achieve more than him. He gave him the best education and sent him abroad so he could see and understand the world. In the British colony of Hong Kong, Jamsetji, along with 3 partners, launched his first international business. And soon, the Tata family became cotton and opium traders, exporting to China and Europe, importing into India. R.D. Tata and a French love story. Another name emerged in this business family, Ratanji Tata, R.D. Tata. 17 years older than Jamsetji, R.D. was a trader in opium, perfumes, and pearls, frequently visiting France for business. There, he hired a tutor to learn French. But instead of just learning, he fell in love with the tutor's daughter, Suzanne. Despite being a widower and much older, Suzanne admired R.D.'s spirit. They got married, but fearing backlash from the Parsi community, Suzanne converted to Zoroastrianism and changed her name to Suni. Together they had a son, Jahangir Ratanji Tata, known to the world as J.R.D. Tata. Jamsetji's visionary mind. Jamsetji didn't just run a business, he envisioned India's future, opening an office in Shanghai, establishing Tata in Europe. It was just the beginning of his big dreams. Back then, there were no airplanes, not even cruise ships. Travel was by sea alongside animals. But he endured it all. Seasickness, filth, exhaustion. Because he had one vision, a Tata office in London. And this is just the beginning. Tata is not just the name of a family, it's a philosophy. Never place yourself above your country. And this thinking is what sets them apart from everyone else. A man who sowed dreams. The man who planted dreams. When Jamsetji Tata arrived in England, he didn't just learn about trade, he saw a vision. He was no longer satisfied with just trading. He wanted to create something that came from the soil of India and reached the world. In 1873, he laid the foundation of a factory, a spinning and weaving mill far ahead of its time. While others were opening mills in big cities like Bombay and Ahmedabad, Jamsetji chose Nagpur. Because for him, logic mattered more than logistics. Being close to cotton farms, importing quality machinery, and hiring experts, all this showed the depth of his vision. He named it Empress Mills. Nagpur's challenge, Jamsetji's vision. The people of Nagpur had a laid-back attitude, comfort-loving, less disciplined. Only 80 out of 100 workers would show up regularly. Anyone else might have imposed penalties. But Jamsetji chose the path of positive change. He introduced a provident fund, ensuring that even after retirement, workers lived comfortably. He introduced insurance in case a worker was injured or died on the job. He started sports day and family day events, where winners would receive cash prizes, watches, or gold chains. His thinking was far ahead of his time. Even in England, such benefits weren't common back then. Empress Mills was not just a mill. It was the foundation of the Tata culture. And this was the reason that when the workers saw someone treating them as humans, they too began treating their work as a mission. Baptism by fire, a trial by flame. J.D. Jamsetji Tata, a young boy who turned legacy into responsibility. The year was 1925. J.R.D. Tata, who had grown up in France, came to India for training at Tata Steel. His father, R.D. Tata, brought him to Jamshedpur, where one of Tata's factories was already operating. Spending a day in each department, learning, observing, understanding, that was his role. And then, life took a sudden turn. One night, one shock. Everything changed. R.D. Tata, now over 70, was dancing at his daughter's request, when suddenly he felt chest pain and collapsed on the spot. A severe heart attack. There wasn't even enough time to call a doctor. The man who had laid the foundation of the Tata Empire alongside Jamsetji was gone. A son's ultimate test. Now, J.R.D. wasn't just responsible for the business, he had to take care of his 4 younger siblings as well. Some of R.D.'s companies were in loss and debt was mounting. J.R.D. gave up his French citizenship, learned English, and even sold his homes and properties. The Sunita house, the bungalow in Pune, and the holiday home in France. The whole family moved into Taj Mahal Hotel, because now it wasn't just about saving a business, it was about keeping a legacy alive. 1973, the next captain of Tata. After years of struggle and hard work, in 1973, the board finally announced J.R.D. Tata will now lead the Tata Empire. And just like that, a calm, French-speaking young man became the heir to India's largest industrial empire. The birth of a motor car. You've heard of Rolls-Royce, the royal ride of England, Mercedes, a marvel of German engineering, Ford, the symbol of American speed, and Toyota, the perfection of Japan. But did India ever have a car of its own? No, at least not until one man dared to dream. This is the story of Ratan Tata. It was the year 1993. During an auto parts meeting, he boldly said, "Now India needs its own family car." At the time, many took it as an emotional statement. Some laughed it off. Others asked, "A car in India? Fully indigenous?" But Ratan Tata knew. To make dreams come true, you must rise above doubt. He formed a special engineering team within Telco. The focus was crystal clear, a comfortable 5-seater car with space for luggage and strong enough to handle India's potholes. They invested 120 crore rupees in CAD, computer-aided design. Many mocked him, "How will this even work in India?" But Ratan Tata let his work answer, not his words. And then began the real test. They acquired a full assembly line from Australia, massive machinery weighing tons, 650 containers, 14,800 tons, 6 months of time. When the giant machinery finally arrived in India, a 500-meter-long production line was set up at Telco, with 450 robots working on it. But then, one moment stopped Ratan Tata in his tracks. He noticed an engineer going up and down 600 times a day just to fit one part. He immediately said, "We can't expect this from our people. Humans aren't machines." A robotic solution was introduced instantly. He wasn't just building a car, he was creating a new work culture. Then came the historic day, 1998 Auto Expo in Delhi. While other brands dazzled with glamour, Tata's stall had a different energy. The models wore turbans and saris, children stood holding the Indian flag. And Ratan Tata himself drove inside India's first indigenous car. Someone said, "It's like the Kohinoor entered in a car." And the car was named Indica, India's first homegrown family car. But every dream faces resistance. Some cars had defects, criticism poured in. People said, "Of course this happened, it's Indian made." But Ratan Tata didn't back down. He spent 500 crore rupees setting up free repair camps across the country. He promised customers, "We will fix it and we will make it better." Then came Indica V2, unmatched in class, comfort, and quality. BBC awarded it the title of Best Car. India's car started shining on the world stage. And that day, Ratan Tata didn't just build a car, he built faith that we can do it too. We can build world-class machines. If we believe in ourselves, nothing is impossible. This isn't just the story of a motor car. It's the story of a mindset that says, India will no longer follow others, it will set its own pace. Tata culture. Capitalism with a heart. When business is done with heart, it doesn't just make profit, it transforms society. And this is the essence of Tata culture, a vision where profit isn't limited to bank balance, but reaches the core of humanity. Community first. Tata's golden rule. In 1882, Jamsetji Tata helped a few local doctors so they could go to England for higher education. And with complete generosity, he said, "Treat it like a loan, repay it slowly, and once you succeed, use that money to help someone else." That's how the idea was born. J.N. Tata. Endowment for the higher education of Indians. To date, over 5,000 people have studied abroad through this fund and proudly call themselves J.N. Tata scholars. Business is not just profit. It's a responsibility. While global corporates write CSR reports, Tata has lived this culture. When they opened the Empress Mill in Nagpur, Jamsetji became the first Indian industrialist to offer pension plans to his workers. Think about it. At a time when even the West hadn't considered such benefits, Tata implemented it in India. Why? Because he believed, our growth lies in the well-being of society. An example of sacrifice for progress. With a dream to make India self-reliant, Jamsetji laid the foundation of a steel plant. He also launched a massive artificial lake project so India could generate its own hydroelectricity. But wait, in the early 1900s, he sold 17 buildings and 4 properties just so India could have more scientists and engineers. And from this sacrifice was born the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, the world's billionaires, and Tata, Bill Gates, Henry Ford, Rockefeller. They all did charity. But Tata's path is different. They don't just donate, they invest in people. To bring real change to society, Tata Group trusts local talent, while other companies focus on cost-cutting and outsourcing. The Hosur story, a factory of hope. In 1987, Hosur, Tamil Nadu, was deeply poor. Most people relied on farming, no skills, no jobs. Tata decided to set up a plant there. They could have brought skilled workers from Bangalore, but instead they chose something different. They selected 400 local 12th grade students and sent them to Bangalore for training. Many saw a big city for the first time. After training, those same students began building Titan watches, world-class timepieces, now a symbol of India's pride. Tata's real investment in people, in their skills, in their hopes. If society progresses, the nation will shine, and only then can a business become a true leader. This was the story of Tata culture, where every profit carries a deeper purpose, the search for a successor. Ratan Tata's final great responsibility. Every empire, sooner or later, needs new leadership. But for a value-driven and massive empire like the Tata Group, choosing a successor is not just a decision. It's a philosophy. 3 leaders, 3 styles, 1 spirit, Jamsetji Tata, a traditional Parsi, long beard, a serious personality with visionary thinking. J.R.D. Tata, French elegance, Indian heart, always in suits, clean-shaven, deeply concerned for the common man. Ratan Tata, calm, composed, inwardly emotional, and deeply methodical. His eyes speak little, but his decisions make history. The search begins, an internal mission. When Ratan Tata became chairman in 1991, he was 54 years old, and the Tata Group had a rule. No chairman would stay beyond the age of 75. So at age 73, he quietly began the search for a successor. A selection committee was formed. 5 members, including Ratan Tata himself. The process was as secretive as an intelligence agency, but the standards were extremely high. Ratan Tata wasn't looking for someone just qualified. He wanted a visionary, a dedicated individual, someone with true commitment, and most importantly, no ego. And yes, the successor must be Indian because the soul of Tata lives in Indian soil. And then emerged a name, Cyrus Palonji, mystery, 43 years old, calm personality, someone who preferred to stay out of the limelight. Cyrus belonged to the Shapoorji Pallonji family, who owned 18% of Tata Sons. He had already played key roles in two of Tata's biggest acquisitions, Jaguar Land Rover, Chorus Steel. His age, vision, and nature all aligned with what Ratan Tata was looking for. A legacy, a relationship. Over 100 years, Cyrus Mistry came from a Parsi builder family. His father, Pallonji Mistry, was a construction tycoon, and his mother was from Ireland. The Mistry family had been part of the Tata legacy for over a century, a relationship that was familial, business-based, and now leadership-bound. September 2011. The announcement. When Cyrus Mistry's name was announced, the media and markets buzzed with speculation. Some asked, is he ready? Can he handle such a massive group? But the same questions were asked when Ratan Tata succeeded J.R.D. Tata. And then, he became the benchmark. Now it was Cyrus Mistry's turn to prove himself. Leadership is not just a chair. It's trust, it's heritage, and above all, it's the Tata culture. A legacy that's not carried by one man, but fulfilled through a mission, the storm, and a new beginning. If one word could define the Tata Group, it would be vision. This group doesn't make decisions based on yesterday's numbers, but on thoughts that go beyond tomorrow. Integrity, long-term thinking, and public goodwill, these are its foundation. But when a new chairman, Cyrus Pallonji Mistry, took charge, his way of thinking was a little different. Profit or purpose? Cyrus believed in numbers. He viewed every business like a profit and loss statement. His first big decision was, if a company is in loss, shut it down or sell it. The UK steel business sold. The Bermuda-based Orient Express hotel deal canceled. The new focus was on financial services, defense, tourism, and retail. He believed Tata Group needed focused growth, annual meeting, and an unexpected storm. Everything was going according to plan. The annual meeting was approaching, where Cyrus was set to review all Tata companies' reports. But suddenly, a report came in. Some board members were holding an unofficial meeting. Cyrus had no clue about this, and then, as the annual meeting began, two surprising faces were present. Nitin Noria, board member, and Ratan Tata himself. And then, the shock. Nitin Noria stood up and said, the board wants Cyrus Mistry to resign. That was the agenda of the informal meeting. Ratan Tata quietly said, sorry, Cyrus, this shouldn't have happened. The board had lost its confidence, and in just 30 minutes, the news spread like wildfire in the media. But why? No one knows the real reason why Cyrus was removed. Some said, because he sold loss-making businesses. Others claimed he sidelined the Tata trusts. But Ratan Tata remained silent. No confirmations, no denials. Cyrus, who came in hoping to lead for 20 to 30 years, was removed in just 4 years. He filed a complaint with the National Company Law Tribunal saying, I have been wronged. A new beginning, the rise of Chandra now. The Tata Group was in search of new leadership, and one name emerged, Natarajan Chandrasekaran, CEO of TCS, calm, humble, completely grounded. He began his career at Tata, and Tata was his entire world. In February 2017, he was officially appointed the new chairman of Tata Group. Plenty of problems and plenty of solutions. The Japanese company Docomo was about to take legal action against Tata, but Chandra resolved it. Tata Steel was running in loss in Europe, so it was merged with a German company. Tata Teleservices sold to Airtel. By December 2017, the Tata Group was stable again. Conclusion: purpose is always bigger than profit. In this book, you've read about Jamsetji, Tata's vision, J.R.D. Tata's service to society, and Ratan Tata's leadership. You saw how integrity, vision, and public welfare are part of Tata's DNA. But also, you saw that the Tata Group has never been just a business. Do you believe in yourself? When the first Indica car failed, people said, we can't do this. But Ratan Tata said, we will do it, and we will do it right here. And from there came India's first world-class indigenous car. Today we have companies like Flipkart, and Paytm, Indian CEOs in companies like Microsoft, and India now a force in space technology. So now's the time to believe in yourself, because nothing is truly impossible. If you'd like, in the next part we can bring you Cyrus versus Tata. A courtroom drama, or Chandra's digital acceleration story, as say the word. BookBlink will bring every page to life for you.